grace greater than our sin. This one, even though it could be advanced beginning area uh, to the beginning intermediate level, it's that in between. There's a few words in here that you're going to need, and I will not go back and do the beginning words. Those you should have under your belt by this point. Marvelous, um, wonderful, marvelous. Just both hands out. It's just like, whoa, look at all this. Wonderful, marvelous. Uh, Grace, taking it from God and showering it on man. So grab it with your dominant hand and then shower it onto the top of your head. Lord, and that we've talked about that before, the L going down that Miss America ribbon. Now in this song, exceeds, greater, you can take it up because here's the main area, and it's like you piled it on. It exceeds, it's greater than whatever is down here. Exceeds or greater. You also may want to do greater this way, however you're comfortable. To me, it has more of this meaning than this, because there could be several things that are great, but this is above and beyond. That's why I choose that sign. Dark, get a hold of like a curtain on both sides and bring it closed. It's like you're closing out the sunlight in your house by grabbing the curtains and bringing it across. Now, sin or stain, there's a couple words in here that you have to understand the meaning is the sin, and that is the X hand that you take and it digs in. So you bring it under and then up so that it catches a hold of whoever is on there. So any of the words that mean sin, your stain that you talk about with sin, that's it. Dark stain or dark sin. Cannot. It's like a little baby reaching out to touch a stove and you go, can't do that. Cannot. And it's just taking your pointer finger of your dominant hand and popping it down on the pointer finger of your non-dominant hand. Cannot. Hide, and that's where you take your non-dominant hand and it forms like a cave, a C hand, but it's down so that you can take your thumb and run it underneath so that you can't see it. It's hiding. Hide. Avail. It means just to help. Your non-dominant hand in an S position, your dominant hand reaches under and holds it up. Avail or help. Now, infinite, matchless, this is where those two words are together and yet they have very similar meanings. So you can either do without equal or great. And in this one, because of the pace of the song, I usually do great. And of course, freely, the F hands bound at the wrist like a slave would be bound, and then breaking free, freely. Longing, and that's where you want food. People who are hungry, they want or they're longing for food. So it's like you've got a chunk of food in your hand and you bring it down like you're going to swallow it. And lamb, and of course that's the shearing of the sheep. Your dominant hand is like a pair of scissors and you're cutting the wool. Now it says the blood of the lamb was spilt or it was given. In this song I use the word given because even though it spilled all over the place, the lamb gave it. Whiter, the word white here, great, and of course snow, little flecks of snow falling through the air. This moment, now. And so both hands, just bring them straight down. Now. It's like you tell a child, do it now. Now. Crimson is the color of red. Red tide, and I do red flood. So red, the R across the lips, and bring up the flood up in front of you. Pardon, and that's where the heel part of your hand, you just rub it like you would an eraser to erase whatever it is. Pardon. Marvelous grace of our loving Lord, grace that exceeds our sin and our guilt, yonder on Calvary's mount outpoured, there where the blood of the Lamb was spilled. Grace, grace, God's grace, grace that will pardon and cleanse within. Grace, grace, God's grace, grace that is greater than all our sin. Dark is the stain that we cannot hide. What can avail to wash it away? Look, there is flowing a crimson tide. Whiter than snow you may be today. Grace, grace, God's grace, grace that will pardon and cleanse within. Grace, grace, God's grace, grace that is greater than all our sin. Marvelous, infinite, matchless grace, freely bestowed on all who believe. You that are longing to see his face, will you this moment his grace receive? Grace, grace, God's grace, grace that will pardon and cleanse within. Grace, grace, God's grace, grace that is greater than all our sin.